And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. Another day and another outrageous and heinous act performed by an asylum seeker living in a taxpayer funded hotel. We've seen the weekend, we've seen the outrage from the British people, of course, and still continuously be ignored from the Labour government and authorities alike. I'm interested to see what's going to happen after, of course, when Parliament returns from recess. But when is enough enough? When are they going to start taking account? Because it's absolutely scandalous that this keeps on happening. Yesterday, of course, we reported to you about the two Afghan asylum seekers that had raped a 12-year-old girl, and now we've got yet another story and another incident with regard to an asylum seeker living in a taxpayer-funded hotel, and what he has done to a 10-year-old girl. It's beyond a joke. It genuinely is. And this is where the public outrage stems from. As always, guys, we are going to be breaking down this story. But first, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and get involved in the live chat. Let's go through what has happened in Manchester. Yes, a Sudanese migrant living in a taxpayers funded hotel in one of Greater Manchester's most desirable suburbs has been charged with the attempted kidnapping of a 10-year-old girl. The accused, 30-year-old Edris Azulilberger, was arrested in Stockport on Saturday, July 13th, after allegedly attempting to lure the young girl away while she was walking with her father. This is not an allegation of confusion or misunderstanding. Police believe this was a deliberate attempt to take a child away from her parent in broad daylight. Now, this is where it took place. The individual was residing in a 3-star hotel in Wilmslow, a quiet and affluent neighbourhood just outside Manchester, reportedly a cost to the taxpayer of £100 per night. This is one of a dozen of hotels still being used to accommodate asylum seekers, despite public pressure to shut them down. He was brought before magistrates' court just 2 days later on July 15th, where the court heard details of an alleged incident, and the individual has now been remanded into custody and is now set to appear before Manchester Crown Court on August 28th. In a response, a government spokesperson stated this is deeply concerning, and the official went on to say foreign nationals who commit crimes should be in no doubt that the law will be enforced and justice will be delivered. More on this point is that they also cited figures to defund their efforts on border control, revealing that over 35,000 individuals with no legal right to remain in the UK have been removed in the past years alone, which again I see no evidence of, including more than 5,000 foreign criminals. That represents a 14% increase from the previous year. Supposedly, because none of us have actually seen this actually in real time, and we haven't seen what has happened. As for the cost of the asylum hotels system, this is sparking real anger, and especially with yesterday, of course, with the two Afghan asylum seekers, we'd seen that the police tried to cover it up yet again. So again, when is enough enough? When is this going to? This is going to continue to happen until the government actually start cracking down on this. It's happening on a day-to-day basis. We're seeing it on a day-to-day basis. We're seeing reports week in, week out of the same headlines. Now, this one is not as heinous, I suppose, as the one we reported to yesterday with regard to the two Afghan asylum seekers, because it got away with what they were going to intend to do. But this individual, a Sudanese man, 30-year-old, if he is 30 years old, trying to lure and kidnap a 10-year-old girl in broad daylight. It's a scary time, and this is with the father, and this is not to put down women by any means, but these people are trying to lure and take away little girls away from their parents. A man in broad daylight. There's no stopping these individuals from what they want to do. And it's really, really scary indeed. But as stated, I've been following this closely as this individual, of course, goes and appears at Manchester Crown Court on August 26th. So, yeah, we'll have to see what is going to happen. Especially with it, especially with the outrage that came out yesterday with regard to the two asylum seekers and the police trying to cover it up. If it wasn't for the Warwickshire's County Council leader, George Finch of Reform, who had written to the Home Office demanding that asylum seekers currently housed in the region may be relocated elsewhere. But he also doxed it But remember, the police tried to cover it up yet again. But yeah, that's all we've really got for this in particular story. But we'll follow it closely and see what happens following his Crown Court appearance. But again, it's just going to continue to happen until some real effort is made from the government. They're complicit in this, by the looks of things, because they're ignoring the problem. They're ignoring the outrage that we're seeing on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, outside these asylum hotels. So they're choosing a side, aren't they? Essentially, they're choosing a side. Let's go into the live chat. Let's see what people are thinking with regard to this one. On another note, we've just finished recording the podcast as well. That's going to be out a little bit later on today. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. Covering a lot. Covering the gravy train with regard to Keir Starmer and Morgan McSweeney and his father. And as to why they probably don't want to close down the illegal hotels. Not interested says it really is all nonsense. Zero says I'm really worried for my grandchildren. I'll defend them myself because we can't trust the government. Thomas says, Englishman, we must protect our children. The government police won't protect them. They've shown us that all they care about is covering them up. Their sick crimes. Thomas also says it's absolutely insanity that these monsters are brought to our lands. As I said, the Labour government, as long as it continues, are complicit in this. They're allowing it to happen. They have the power to stop it tomorrow. Don't be fooled. They have the power to stop this tomorrow. Lindsay says, it looks like this is becoming the norm now. But why? Should we have to put up with this evil? I know I have had enough to say, always have hope. Right now, that's all we feel we've got left. T1000 says, surprised the father wasn't arrested for defending his daughter. You know, you make that as I suppose a tongue-in-cheek comment, but it's a realistic possibility that we see in modern-day Britain. Sick. And it's happening everywhere. It's not just a one-city problem. We're seeing it all over the country now. And there's a correlation in place. You know, this is what I'm saying, and the longer this goes on for, the more it's going to continue. And always the question remains: when is enough enough? When is enough enough? Because tomorrow I'll probably be reporting on another incident that's happened, unfortunately. Disgusting, absolutely disgusting. But guys, I thought I would bring that one to you. That's all I've already got with regard to it. And to be fair, it's probably best I don't keep live streaming when I'm talking these stories, because I just get angry and I say stuff that I probably shouldn't be saying. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We've plenty of content coming up for the rest of the day. And as just stated, we're just recording an hour-and-a-half podcast today discussing a lot of things. So we'll probably post some clips here on British Stand. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next one.